My family reported me missing just to take over my house while I was on vacation. I never thought my own family could turn against me like this. But here I am, sitting in a cheap motel room 1,500 miles from home, typing out what feels like the worst betrayal I've ever experienced. And it's all because I decided to take a well-deserved vacation. Let me start from the beginning. I'm Michael, 35, and I've always been the quiet, responsible one in my family. The good son, the reliable brother. I bought a modest house a few years ago, worked my ass off in a mid-level IT job, and never asked for much. My family, my parents, my older sister Karen, and younger brother Alex, well, they always seemed to be on a different wavelength, more interested in drama and getting what they wanted, less interested in supporting one another. 2 months ago, I finally managed to save enough to take a week off and head to the coast for some much-needed R&R. I booked a small cabin near the beach, packed my bags, and told no one about it except my best friend, who was supposed to meet me halfway through the trip. What happened next, I could never have predicted. On the 3rd day of my vacation, I got a call from an unfamiliar number. My heart sank when I saw the area code. It was from my hometown. Hesitantly, I answered, "Michael, it's Officer Jenkins from the County Sheriff's Department." The voice said, "We need to talk about a missing person report filed in your name." I blinked, confused. Missing person? There's got to be some mistake. I'm literally on vacation right now. He didn't sound convinced. "Your family filed a report 2 days ago. They say you've been unreachable, and no one knows where you are." My stomach twisted. I tried to explain where I was, even offered to send a photo with a timestamp. But I could hear the doubt in his voice, and I knew this wasn't going to be easy. After that call, I tried calling home to clear things up, but Karen picked up instead of my parents. Her tone was cold, distant, not like the sister I remembered. "Michael, we're worried about you," she said. "You're ignoring us, not answering calls. Dad's been stressed out. Mom's barely sleeping. I'm on vacation. I told you I was going." I said, "Why didn't you believe me?" There was a pause. Then, "It's not just that. We needed to make sure you were really gone. You know, for the house." My brain stopped. "What do you mean? For the house?" Karen sighed. "Dad's been talking about selling it. But with you out of the picture, it's easier to make decisions. We just wanted to make sure you weren't coming back." I hung up, stunned. My own family, reporting me missing, playing a game I didn't even know was happening. I couldn't believe it. The house I'd worked so hard for, they wanted to take it from me while I was away. I immediately called a lawyer friend back home, trying to figure out my options. Meanwhile, Karen blocked my number, and Alex stopped returning texts altogether. I felt so isolated, betrayed by the people I thought had my back. What happens next? I don't know how this story will end, but I promise you one thing. I'm not going to let them get away with this. I'll fight. I'll expose every lie. And when the time comes, I'll make sure they regret ever betraying me. When I hung up on Karen that day, everything inside me felt shattered, like someone had ripped a hole in the foundation I'd built my life on. My own sister and brother, plotting behind my back, using the missing status like some twisted excuse to take my home. But what they didn't realize was I wasn't going to roll over. Coming home to a war zone, I cut my vacation short and booked the earliest flight back home. Sitting in the plane, all I could think about was my house, my sanctuary, and the people who'd turned it into a battleground. When I landed, I was met not by open arms, but by a cold, hostile silence. Pulling up to my street, I saw unfamiliar cars parked outside my place, Karen's SUV and Alex's beat-up pickup among them. That was just the start. The front door of my door was chained shut. The battle for my own front door. I knocked. No answer. I called Karen's phone. She didn't pick up. I could see through the window, boxes stacked in the living room, my furniture covered in plastic wrap, and movers carrying out bags and valuables. "Are you seriously trying to steal my house?" I shouted through the glass, voice shaking. Alex appeared, flanked by two big guys I'd never seen before. He smirked. "Michael, you're not missing anymore. You're home. But it's too late. This place belongs to us now," he said. I felt my heart pound with rage. "You don't own a damn thing here. This is my house." He laughed, a bitter, cruel sound. "Technically, it's not anymore. Dad signed the deed over to Mom and us, saying you abandoned it." I wanted to scream. I knew my parents could be easily manipulated by Karen and Alex, but I never imagined they'd be dragged into this mess. I went straight to the county recorder's office the next day. The deed was real, or at least it looked real. The signatures of my parents were there, along with a transfer of ownership documents. But I knew something was wrong. My parents didn't have the mental capacity to sign over everything while I was gone. I immediately hired a private investigator. The PI dug deep and uncovered the truth. Karen had forged my mother's signature on the documents. Alex had coerced Dad into signing under pressure, and both had orchestrated the missing person report to create the illusion that I'd vanished for good. When I confronted Karen with this evidence, she only sneered. "You think you're smart? You're just a naive idiot who left an opening." We took it, but I wasn't about to back down. With my lawyer and PI on my side, I began building a case to reclaim what was mine. Every forged signature, every manipulated call, every secret meeting. I planned to expose it all. This wasn't just about a house anymore. It was about respect, about showing my family that betrayal has consequences. I hired a lawyer, a no-nonsense woman named Janet, who specialized in real estate fraud. She explained that my case had merit, but the road ahead would be long and messy. "There's clear evidence of forgery and coercion," Janet said after reviewing the PI's report. "But your family will fight back hard. You need to prepare for a full legal battle." I nodded. I had no choice. This wasn't just about money or property anymore. It was about my dignity. We filed a lawsuit to declare the deed invalid. The case went to a temporary restraining order, stopping Karen and Alex from selling or altering the property until the court ruled. The hearing was brutal. Karen's lawyer painted me as irresponsible and absent, trying to justify their actions as protecting the family home. But Janet presented the forged documents and the PI's testimony. Slowly, the judge began to see the cracks in their story. During depositions, I learned things I never expected. My parents, once pillars of my life, admitted they were scared and manipulated. My sister and brother had threatened them, promising to take care of everything if they cooperated. It was heartbreaking, but it fueled my resolve. The battle took a toll on me. My friends drifted away, unsure which side to believe. I lost sleep, appetite, and sometimes hope. But every time I doubted myself, I remembered why I fought. For justice, for my home, and for the family I wished I still had. Then came a breakthrough. My PI uncovered a hidden bank account where Karen and Alex were funneling money from selling some of my belongings. That was the proof Janet needed to push for criminal charges. Suddenly, the power shifted. They were on the defensive. The court date for the full trial was set. I spent nights preparing, going over every detail with Janet. This was it. I wasn't just fighting for a house anymore. I was fighting to reclaim my life from the people who had tried to erase me. The day of the trial felt like walking into a war zone. I was nervous, but determined. After everything I'd been through, I wasn't about to let my family off the hook. Entering the courtroom was packed. Karen and Alex sat on one side, smug and confident, flanked by their lawyers. My lawyer, Janet, gave me a reassuring nod. The judge called the court to order, and the trial began. Presenting the evidence, Janet laid out the case carefully. The forged signatures, the coerced parental consent, the missing person report filed in bad faith, and the secret bank account where Karen and Alex hid the proceeds of their theft. Karen's lawyer tried to paint me as a villain, absent, neglectful, even reckless for taking a vacation. But Janet tore their narrative apart, showing the lengths they went to manipulate my parents and steal my home. The most powerful moment was when my parents took the stand. They tearfully admitted they'd been pressured and scared. Their testimony broke the illusion of a united family front and shattered Karen and Alex's credibility. After days of testimony and arguments, the judge ruled in my favor. The deed was declared invalid. Karen and Alex were ordered to return the house to me immediately. But that wasn't all. The judge referred the case to the district attorney for criminal investigation of forgery and fraud. But winning in court was just a start. I wanted to make sure Karen and Alex never betrayed me or anyone else like this again. With Janet's help, I began quietly gathering evidence to expose every deceit, every lie, and every shady deal they'd made over the years. I planned to share the truth with everyone, extended family, friends, even the community. The day I returned to my house, I held a small gathering. I invited neighbors and family friends and told them everything. The missing person report, the forged documents, the betrayal. The shock on Karen and Alex's faces was priceless. Suddenly, they weren't so confident. The road ahead wouldn't be easy. There were still wounds to heal, bridges to mend, and battles to fight. But I felt something I hadn't felt in a long time: power. The power to take control of my life again, and to ensure my family would never try to steal from me or break me again. The court ruling felt like justice, but only opened the door to the real battle. Tearing apart the family that betrayed me and making sure their lies caught up with them. After the trial, Karen and Alex's relationships with the rest of the family collapsed. Extended relatives who'd once turned a blind eye now distanced themselves. Even my parents, though sorry and guilt-ridden, struggled to forgive their children. Christmas was the first real test. Invitations stopped coming. Messages went unanswered. The family I thought I had was gone. I published a detailed account online, in local forums and social media, sharing the evidence and the story. The community responded with outrage and support. Karen and Alex's reputations took a massive hit. Their attempts to defend themselves only dug them deeper into the hole. The DA pressed charges. Forgery and fraud investigations followed. Karen and Alex faced not just legal penalties, but mounting debts from lost assets. I reclaimed every penny that had been taken. The house was finally mine, clear and clean, rebuilding my life. With the dust settling, I focused on healing. I renovated the house, added security systems, and reconnected with friends who stood by me. I learned to trust again, cautiously, but with hope. The ultimate revenge wasn't just legal victory or exposing them publicly. It was reclaiming my peace of mind. I sent Karen and Alex a letter, simple, cold, and final. You lost more than a house. You lost my trust. Don't ever try to take from me again.